The truth about weight loss drugs like Mounjaro. For those of you that are new, I'm Sam, a personal trainer who lost over 11 stone himself without giving up a normal social life or enjoying the foods that I love. Today's episode is episode 3 of the Healthy Appetite to Success podcast. And today we're going to cover fat loss drugs, whether they're good, whether they're bad, whether there's something you should consider, the positives and the negatives. So this is something that's extremely topical at the moment and something that you're really not going to want to miss out on. So let's get started. So the first thing to talk about really is actually exactly what these drugs are and what they're doing. So to briefly explain, weight loss drugs like Mounjaro, Ozempic, Wegovy, they're essentially appetite suppressants. So what they're going to do is they're going to basically slow the gastric emptying process. So therefore, your body is going to feel fuller for longer. You're going to have less of an appetite. So it was originally actually developed for people with type 2 diabetes, but it's now something that's being prescribed for fat loss. So the overall thinking is, if you have less of an appetite, you're not going to want to eat as much. Therefore, you're going to consume less food, calories are going to be lower, and you're likely to lose weight. So in theory, I can see exactly the thinking. And in general, it does initially sound like a potentially good idea. Limits your hunger signals, means you're not going to be getting as many cravings, means you're not going to be binging on food because you simply haven't got that appetite. But as with everything in life, there are, of course, issues. So let's move on to the short-term success versus long-term sustainability factors of these. So weight loss is something that does often occur when taking these drugs. I'm not going to lie to you and pretend it doesn't. But for lots of people, it's something that's short-term because yes, it helps you at the time, but then it's not necessarily something that you can stay on to long-term. It's not something that is really going to benefit you if you can't stay sustainably on it and you haven't then learned new habits. It's almost just a short fix for now that could do some good, but it could also do some harm. So the question really is, if this is something that you can't necessarily stick to forever, is it actually worthwhile? Or is this genuinely something that in all likelihood you're going to have to continue taking for the rest of your life, which is quite restrictive and ultimately probably not hugely healthy. And perhaps one of the major issues that's come to light is that in studies and trials, it's actually shown weight regain after stopping. So again, it just makes you think, is this actually something that's effectively a lifetime prescription? You're going to have to continually do this for the rest of your life in order to actually keep the weight off. So that's potentially quite an issue, to be medicating yourself for the rest of your life for something that you could potentially do in other methods that don't involve medication. So that's quite a big thinking point, honestly, to consider and actually weigh up whether it's worthwhile for you. One of the major parts for me is that by taking the drug, it's not necessarily building those healthy habits that are going to make weight loss sustainable long term. So whilst the drugs might reduce your cravings, it's not necessarily actually addressing the underlying issue as to why you are over consuming food or you're overweight in the first place. It's not practicing mindful eating or even improving your nutritional awareness. It's just getting you to eat less food because your appetite is lower. So you could still have those bad habits in place. You may actually still be eating unhealthy food as the only food that you eat, but you're just eating less of it. So yes, it's better that you're eating less, but you're still not actually fueling your body in a healthy manner. And you're not addressing the underlying issues that you have that by actually doing a normal sort of healthy living lifestyle would address. So again, it just seems very unsustainable long term, that it's not addressing issues. It may be reducing wanting to eat as much food, but it's not actually teaching you and allowing you to build better habits of eating better food, exercising more, fueling your body with the right stuff, vitamin wise and nutrition. And so it just feels wrong, honestly, in terms of it's not setting you up for success long term. Another real issue is the whole relationship with food and body image that this is coming from. So, yes, it may help you lose some weight, but it's not addressing your bad relationship with food, your bad relationship with your body image. It's just almost putting like a plaster over a wound and thinking, the issue is I need to lose weight. This will help me do it, but it's not actually teaching me any skills and lifetime sustainability to keep that in place longer term. It's just reinforcing that our body needs to be managed, but almost like pharmaceutically, and by prescribing something rather than by actually taking control yourself and creating a lifestyle that isn't full of restriction, but it allows you to see results but still enjoy your life. And that is something that is more than achievable. As someone who's genuinely done that himself, as I said to you at the beginning in another episode, I'm someone who's lost 11 stone. I know exactly what it's like to feel overwhelmed by the hole that I was in. I was massively overweight, I was unfit, I was unhealthy, I was unhappy. And I understand that, but I'm proof that by creating healthier habits and just having some form of plan in your life, that you can completely transform your life and do so in a much more sustainable and healthy way than just by medicating yourself and taking a weight loss drug. I think the real problem here is it doesn't address the underlying relationships with food, and that for so many people, food becomes a real emotional support to them. They feel down, they go and binge on a load of food. Well, you could be taking these drugs, feel down, and you're still relying on the food, that you go and pick that ice cream from the freezer and have that because you feel down. But yes, you might not eat as much of it as before, but you're still relying on that food rather than having had better nutritional food, or even relying on food for emotional support in general. So it doesn't solve this underlying issue that you currently have. Now, coming on to a major part here, the side effects and the unknowns of taking this medication. Whilst, of course, there have been some studies, they are more relatively new in terms of being used on people for weight loss. And they're already coming out about some of the side effects that people are having, whether it be vomiting, the risk of gallstones, for example, even thyroid issues, nausea. There's honestly quite a few people that are coming out with different side effects as a result of taking these drugs, and there almost hasn't necessarily been a huge amount of long-term study on it at the moment. And yes, there will be studies out there are. But when you look at the side effects that people are having, is it really potentially worth the risk when this is something in terms of weight loss that can be achieved more naturally and sustainably? I'm hearing of people having stomach issues, just generally feeling unwell. As I said, because their appetite is lower, they're not eating as much food. The quality of food probably still isn't great, and they're not actually fueling their body with what their body needs to function efficiently. They're lacking in vitamins and minerals. Their body doesn't feel right, it doesn't feel good, they feel lethargic. So, is it worth those potential side effects and risks? There's a real lack of long-term data in people that are non-diabetic. These drugs were originally created for diabetic people to help manage their insulin resistance, not for people looking to lose weight by cutting their appetite. So there is a real potential issue there. And that's not even to address the psychological side effects, in terms of it almost increases this idea of an anxiety around eating. The whole idea of this is to try and limit you eating. That creates an idea that you eating is bad for you, but it's really, really not. You should be eating. You should be fueling your body. That's how it's going to function properly. And these drugs are literally designed to limit you eating. And it just continues to build that negative relationship with food and your body and health and weight loss. And it just creates such an unhealthy overall mindset to be in. And it's one that honestly I don't think is right for most people. It's just reinforcing this continual sort of like broader message of the quick fix culture. We live in a society now that is so full of instant gratification, and everyone wants everything now. They need that result now. They're not necessarily prepared to wait or put in any work for it. And I understand that, because let's be honest, if you can have results quickly or take a long time, which one are you going to pick? We're all going to pick the one that comes quickly. But in the vast majority of situations, those results that come super, super quickly like that also come with a real trade-off and have other side effects, as we've mentioned. Whereas by doing it more naturally, you're going to limit those side effects and still see the same results. They might not be quite as quick, but honestly, you'd be surprised at how quickly you can lose weight and keep that weight off in more natural ways. I'm someone who did that myself. I lost sort of like 3-4 stone in the first few months of dieting, and I wasn't taking a weight loss drug. I wasn't doing hours of excessive cardio, and I wasn't even actually cutting out foods that I enjoyed. I just had a proper plan in place, and a level of thought and creativity had gone into it. It's something that you yourself can do as well. So it just worries me, this continual now, looking for the easy way, the quick fix. Take this injection, it will do this, it will do that. Unfortunately, I don't think we're at a stage in society at the moment in which that exists, that this miracle drug you can take and suddenly weight loss happens overnight and there's no side effects. Maybe it will come one day. Maybe. I don't personally believe so, but we're certainly not there yet. It's very much a quick fix that, in my opinion, isn't sustainable long term. It's very much a let's do it now, let's see what happens. And that is something that is worrying. So, quite honestly, I'm a massive advocate of other forms of weight loss, whether that be weight training. I'm someone who goes to the gym, and honestly, I absolutely love it. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel positive. I feel full of energy. I enjoy training. And it's something that I feel like so many people could really benefit from that haven't tried it. It makes you feel good. Even if my body didn't change from how it is now, over the next 10, 15 years, I will still train just as much as I do now because it makes me feel good. But it's also helping me to keep my body in good shape and keep my body healthy. It's an amazing option that so many people are undervaluing when it comes to weight loss. They're just thinking about either dieting or taking a weight loss drug. Whereas by training and building muscle, you're essentially able to eat more food without putting on fat. The more muscle mass you have, the better your metabolism, the more food you're able to eat, even when you're resting. Therefore, the more food you're able to eat without putting on fat. The muscle needs that food to sustain itself. So it's an absolute win-win. Your body looks different, you look athletic, and you're filling out a physique rather than just looking drained through weight loss. There's other things you can do, prioritizing your sleep, reducing stress, creating a better general environment for yourself. There's so many other ways to achieve these same things, and they haven't got to be completely life-changing. You don't need to change everything about what you do, your daily routine. It's just a series of small changes that in time creates huge results. These all stack up and create better habits and build real skills that actually develop you as a person going through this, that can then benefit you in all areas of your life. You feel more positive. You realize that you actually have a bit more about you than you thought you did. And you can take that on into your business, your personal life, relationships. It honestly can make such a huge difference. Now, I'm not going to turn around to you and say that I don't think that these drugs have a place at all for anyone. I feel like for some people, there can be a benefit. If you're someone who is extremely overweight, and I'm talking big, that these could be of actual benefit to you, because at this point, the potential side effects and health risk could actually be less than continuing to be as big as you currently are, and health effects associated with being so overweight. So for someone like that, it could be a tool to get them started, help them lose some weight to get down to a bit of a healthier level, that then they can start to exercise, they can start to have a better diet and nutrition and actually see the results. So for some people, I can see that it could be of use. But I think that for most people, they're just looking for an easy solution. This shouldn't be the case that most people are looking to use weight loss drugs. It should be for those that are extremely overweight that just need something to get kick-started and helped with. Something that they can try and build on from, rather than just use as a solution to an issue. It's honestly worrying how many people are just looking to this for a quick fix when they're not that huge anyway. They just think, oh, I can just take some weight loss drugs and I'll lose this and lose that. And they're not thinking about the bigger picture and the side effects and the underlying issues that could already be in place. You can do other things that are better. Honestly, they're better. So, just to summarize really and come towards the end of this video, the whole weight loss drugs versus doing it naturally, and my overall opinion, I think it's quite clear from this that whilst there are some situations in which it can be of benefit for those who are extremely overweight and just need to try and buy themselves some time, to be honest, they need to lose weight quickly because being as big as they are is killing them. For someone like that, I can see the benefits. But for most people, I think just being a bit more aware about what you're doing daily can have far greater, healthier impact on your life. Addressing some of the underlying issues and relationships with food, by doing some level of exercise, by creating healthier habits, you're going to see the same results without all of the potential side effects. So I think it's more about trying to help people feel in control of their health, rather than just outsourcing it with a prescription to a medical professional. I feel like the whole medical system at the moment and the whole like big pharma and stuff, it's what can we give someone or get them to take that's going to solve this issue, rather than actually addressing what for most people is more of a psychological issue or a reliance on food when they feel unhappy. It should be about creating new, healthier habits rather than prescribing a medication and then just hoping that that can do it for me for now. But it's not long term. It's not sustainable. If you stop taking it, in all likelihood, the weight's going to go straight back on again because your appetite is going to be higher and you've not addressed the issues that are the root of being overweight in the first place. I think there's so many better options available, and it's why, honestly, for the vast majority of people, it's not something that I would ever recommend or something that I myself would ever take. I don't think that it's needed, and that I think with just some level of thought and planning, that you can achieve the same things in a far healthier way. Okay, guys, so I hope you enjoyed episode 3 of the podcast. There's going to be some really interesting topics coming up in the next few weeks. So if you enjoyed this, please like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'm Sam, and I'll catch you on the next one.